Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? Hopefully, you had a wonderful holiday and you were surrounded by loved ones, or even if you weren't surrounded by loved ones and you were alone, sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes that's what you need is your own company. I've spent many holidays alone. So, and sometimes you need that. You need to reset. And honestly, anything and everything is what you make of it. You have to tune into your own power and make it of what you want. And that kind of goes into what today's podcast/video is about. Last week, I did a video about how yoga has changed my life. There are many, many benefits. And today, I'm going to go more into me eating plant-based / being vegan. And it's been about 5 years this past August. And honestly, for one, I just like being a disciplined person. There are times where I might indulge in a little bit of sweets, have a little bit of a drink. But all in all, I'm a very disciplined person. And it helps me stay on track with my health. It makes me feel good. So for me, that's the most important thing. And when you feel good, you have all these changes. And a lot of people who are not tuned into themselves, or maybe they don't feel good, and it's not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing too, as far as feeling good. So I want to go more about that as far as eating habits today. Now, this isn't to push anything on anyone. This is to inform people. This is to encourage people. So if this is not for you, then it's not for you. Being vegan and every diet or every practice is not for everybody. And I completely respect that. I am a personal trainer and a yoga instructor, and I've been in the field on and off 15 years. And now that I'm running my own business, I have my own clientele, and I do collaborate and work for other like-minded individuals. But all in all, I have the utmost respect for whatever works for you, it works for you. But there are times where I might have clients or just random people ask these questions. And again, this is to inform and to inspire them. So, me practicing veganism the last 5 years / being gluten-free. And let me rewind a little bit. I think it was my late 20s, that's when I realized that me and gluten didn't get along. And I had two different opinions. One doctor said it might possibly be celiac. But the other one said, no, it's definitely not that. It is, you have a sensitivity, so you can have gluten. You just can't have a whole bunch of it. So all in all, I am mostly gluten-free. But there are times I might indulge a little bit with bread or products that may have gluten in it, I don't do it all the time, but I do notice when I do consume these things, whether if it's like processed foods, like vegan crackers or like some certain vegan snacks that are not like made for me or whatever, they're like in a box, or certain breads, I can get inflamed. So again, me practicing these things, it's because it makes my body feel good and it makes me feel good. So let's get into it. These are 5 things. And we were kind of speaking about inflammation, right? So me being vegan / gluten-free, I do feel less inflamed. However, like I said, if I do indulge a little bit in some products or some foods that have gluten in it, I can definitely tell the difference. I do experience some bloatingness here and there. Not as badly as I used to before being vegan. But again, I think it's just more of a mindfulness. You know what I mean? Like when you practice certain things, you become more mindful of what you're consuming. So me being vegan, I actually consume way more whole foods. So I think that's probably why I'm not experiencing as much inflammation. But no, regardless of what you eat, most trainers, most dietitians, nutritionists, whoever, a lot of us are going to say whole foods, like whole foods, which is like real food, not that processed foods, not foods in the freezer, stuff like that. Okay, number 2, because I can go on and on about that. But all in all, me eating more whole foods and just being more mindful, I am less inflamed. I also seem more alert. I don't have as much brain fog, and I don't have any migraines. The migraines, to be honest with you, the migraines for me went away a little bit when I stopped drinking regular milk or cow's milk. And that was, oh my goodness, maybe 15 plus years ago. I don't even remember the last time I had cow's milk, but it's been a long time. And with that, I would experience some migraines. I used to get acne really, really badly, especially like around here. Like it was not clear. I would get it all like here. And so that was definitely more of a thing when I consumed dairy. But I don't really experience that anymore. So, it's fine. I feel more like myself, and I don't feel the brain fog, so I feel more alert. I don't feel sluggish, throughout the day. And, regardless if I'm feeling sluggish, I can have coffee and I can still feel sluggish, What else? What is that? Okay, I'm trying to read my handwriting, okay? And I balled this up, and I'm like, why did I ball it up? Because I thought these were some different notes, and it wasn't. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, yeah, I was trying to clean up my office space. Okay, so the next thing is, and this might be a little, TMI. If you don't want to hear about this, if you're a man or if you don't experience menstrual stuff, maybe you want to plug your ears, cover your eyes. I don't know. But for me, practicing veganism in particular, my menstrual cycle is not as heavy, and I don't experience cramps. Like I'm talking about the cramps where it's like, oh my gosh, I want to stay in the bed all day. I'm talking about those kind of cramps. Now, every now and then, yeah, I might get a little bit of cramp in my belly area, but I don't experience the back cramps like how I used to. So, I don't know. I really feel like me consuming meat, and this is different for everyone. But me consuming meat, although, it'll be the grass-fed chicken and stuff, because I didn't really eat a lot of beef or pork back in the day. Before I was vegan, it was mostly chicken, turkey, like fish, very lean type of meats. But even then, I would experience heavier cycles, and my cramps were just like you want a little bit of this? You want to mess with me? That's how I felt. Like with that type of situation, I don't experience that, and honestly, my cycle isn't as long as it used to be. It's lighter. I'm telling you. Now again, is it different for everyone? Yes, I'm only speaking for myself. But I'm telling you, it's life changing. It is. All right. So that was, what was that? That was number 1, 2, 3. Number 4. Number 4 and 5 kind of go together. I don't have any digestive issues, and I do have a sensitive stomach. Like, I used to have acid reflux, like I can't even, like really bad back in the day, but also my eating habits weren't the way it is now. I used to eat out a lot. Like back in the day, in my 20s, or my earlier 20s, because I started my health and fitness journey before I was 25. So this was earlier on. But man, I would eat out a lot, eat a lot of oily processed foods, fried foods. My sleep was horrible. I don't even know how I was functioning, between work and going to college. I don't even know. I don't even know how I was living at that time. Oh, and sweets. Like, people will come to my desk. I know you got them cupcakes. I know you got it. And I did have those cupcakes. And I had the Twinkies and I had the Nutty Butters. And those, like the Little Debbie's, like the boxes. I was snack lady. I had the snacks. People knew if they didn't find anything in the vending machine that they wanted, they knew to come over to my desk, so, or my cubicle, because I had the snacks, I'm telling you. But my stomach would be all jacked up, and then I was lactose intolerant, and just I was not eating as healthy as I am now. I was eating mostly just junk food, which is not even real food. How? Like, I look back and I'm just like, I don't even know how I was living like that. But it was working for me and it was convenient for me at that time. But me practicing veganism has helped with my metabolism, because I pretty much had a good metabolism. But, after a while, your body is going to be like, I'm not going to be working like how I used to, because you're not even giving me the proper nutrients. Your body's telling you this. So when people say, well, I used to have a good metabolism, and it's like, well, you can have a good metabolism again. You just have to give yourself the proper nutrients and, of course, work out and stuff so your body can, reactivate that. It is possible. It is. So my the bloatedness, and don't get me wrong, like I said earlier, if I consume in some gluten, the bloat will come. Because I kid you not, over the summer break, and then my birthday, which is in September, and then I went to Aftershock, which is in October, man, I was bloated. And it took about 2 months or a month and a half to get rid of that bloatedness. It did. So just keep that in mind. I'm a very transparent person, because nobody's journey is perfect. But I have noticed that. And then when you notice those things, you're like, okay, I need to cut back. So I didn't do any gluten, no bread, no sugar. And I lost 14 pounds, because the weight was going up a little bit. And it wasn't that I minded the weight, but I didn't like the bloatedness. I didn't like how uncomfortable I was feeling, because that bloatedness sometimes is just there. It's like you're not necessarily gassy or anything. It's more like an ache. So it's like a stomach ache, but it doesn't want to release. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I really hope this helps somebody out there. The 5 things again: less inflamed, more alert, no migraines, no heaviness, no cramps during the menstrual cycle, no digestive issues, and metabolism picking up, and the bloatingness diminishing itself. So for me, those are the top 5 things, that has helped me a lot. My weight hasn't really changed, because even before I was vegan and I was on this health and wellness journey, I followed a pretty strict diet most of the point. And for me, as long as I have enough protein in my body, protein, fiber, my body really thrives off of that. So for me, I'm just sticking with the foods that I enjoy and veganizing them, and making sure that the food is, whole foods, nutrient, and I'm not eating like the fake vegan stuff. There are times I might have fake vegan meat here and there, but most of the time I'm making my own. I'm using walnuts, I'm using beans, tofu, quinoa, and I might, or chickpeas. So there's so many different ideas out there. So many different foods that I've even posted. You can look at my shorts on YouTube. I have some videos on TikTok, and even on my Instagram and Facebook. And I have different types of vegan meals that I post, vegan snacks. I mean, a lot of us already eat vegan. I mean, a lot of us already eat fruits and veggies and stuff like that, but a lot of us may not be aware of the things that you can do with fruits and veggies and nuts and all that stuff. So again, I really hope this helps encourage someone out there. And again, I just want to be an inspiration. This is not to change anyone's diet or whatever. If it works for you, then it works for you. But what works for me, this is not to make you feel guilty of what you're doing. This is not what this is for. You know, I know how to mind my business, but I also know how to be helpful for those who may be interested. So I'm going to leave that up to you. You can take it how you want. But you enjoy yourself, and I will see you next time. Or if you're listening to my podcast, I will talk to you next time. Bye.